All right, let's talk about something that I think a lot of us feel deep down, this weird paradox of being lazy, but also super ambitious. Have you ever had these massive, world-changing dreams, but when it actually comes time to do the work, you just can't? Yeah, you are definitely not alone. And today, we're going to figure out what's really going on.
Does this look familiar? I mean, you have the roadmap, you know where you want to go, but your brain just seems to hit a giant red stop sign. It's that awful, frustrating feeling, right? You're stuck, but your ambition is just screaming to go. So, what is the deal here?
Well, what if that word we use, laziness, is a total misdiagnosis? We're going to look at this whole thing through a completely new lens. And I'm going to propose that you're not lazy at all. You might just be dealing with something called mental fatigue. And this right here, completely changes the game. See, on the one hand, we've got the old school view. Laziness is a character flaw, it's a choice you're making, a lack of willpower. But on the other hand, we have this idea of mental fatigue. And that's not a flaw. It's a signal from your brain. It's a response to a lack of meaning. Totally different things.
So, let's get a really clear definition here. What exactly is mental fatigue? Think of it as a state where your brain literally resists spending energy on something, specifically when that something feels totally disconnected from a meaningful result. And the most important part, this is not about you being weak. It's your biology sending you a message.
Okay, so that brings us to the big why. Why does our brain even do this? It all boils down to this fundamental, deep-seated need for meaning. Let's get into the mechanics of why your brain will literally slam on the brakes.
At its very core, your brain is an efficiency machine. Seriously. It is hardwired to conserve energy. It's not going to burn precious fuel on a task unless it sees a really clear, really meaningful reward at the end. If the why isn't there, your brain just says, nope, not worth it.
And this explains something you've probably felt before, which we can call selective discipline. You know what I'm talking about. You can get lost for 5 hours in a passion project, but you can't bring yourself to spend 5 minutes on that one dreaded task. That's your brain in action, pouring energy into what it finds meaningful and walling it off from what feels pointless. So what happens when this pressure just builds and builds, when a task feels meaningless and the stakes feel sky high? Well, that's when your brain goes into total overload. It triggers what you could call a mental reboot. Let's break down how that actually happens. Think of it like a pressure cooker. You've got 3 ingredients creating this intense environment. First, you have incredibly high standards for yourself. Second, you have this deep fear that all your hard work won't even matter in the end. And third, the risk of failing feels absolutely catastrophic. You mix those together and your brain starts looking for the emergency exit. And here's how that pressure cooker explodes into what's known as a freeze response. It's like a domino effect. Step 1, the task feels pointless. Step 2, your own high standards crank up the pressure. Step 3, your brain, trying to protect you, just slams on the brakes. And the result? A total shutdown, a mental reboot, that feeling of being completely and utterly paralyzed. And this quote, man, this just says it all. It nails the feeling perfectly. It's not that you don't want to. It feels like your brain is physically stopping you from even starting. That's your brain's self-preservation system going into overdrive. It's a real, powerful feeling. So how do we get out of this? The answer isn't to just try harder. It starts with completely reframing what you call laziness. Instead of fighting it or feeling guilty about it, the whole goal is to start listening. It's not a character flaw you need to fix, it's a signal you need to understand. So how do you know if this is you? Let's run through 6 key signs that what you're dealing with is mental fatigue, not laziness. Number 1, you've got that selective discipline. Number 2, your standards for yourself are just through the roof. 3, the task in front of you feels pointless or maybe even risky. 4, you feel that classic combo, ambitious but totally paralyzed. 5, you can sleep for 10 hours and it still doesn't solve the problem. And 6, you find yourself in that freeze response a lot. And that's what I want to leave you with. The next time that wave of laziness hits you, just for a second, stop. Instead of judging yourself, ask this simple question. What is my brain actually trying to tell me right now? Is this task missing a why? Is the pressure too high? Listening to that signal, that might just be the most productive thing you can do.